Hey yo, MON Radio and the Pipe Bomb Radio Network present Not Your Mama's Radio Show with your hosts, former WWE superstars and two men that are always on a mission, Oscar and Sir Mo.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Not Your Mama's Radio Show. Here is your host. Well, we have one host right now, and that is Sir Mo.
What's going on, Felix?
Not much, man. Not much. Getting ready for another good show tonight. I find it kind of funny that Oscar's actually late for a change. He's usually never late. But, hey, he's a busy man, too. You guys are trying to get out there and doing some things for the Men on the Mission tour there, so.
Yeah, well, I think he's probably somewhere stuck in a buffet line. That's what he's doing this late in the evening. Somewhere trying to grab a chicken.
Hey, that guy, if you bring us some chicken, I say bring some for everybody else.
Hey, that guy can eat some chicken, man. And I mean a whole chicken, too.
I think he's calling in now. Let's see if he's brought some chicken to share with us. Hey, Oscar, how you doing? We were wondering where you were at, man. We thought Mo was saying that you were in a buffet line trying to get some chicken. I said, well, I hope you bring some for us, too.
I'll tell you, you know what? I know he talking with his country man. He's like the old creepy uncle, your kid's grand uncle, your kid's scared of. Come sit on my lap. Tell him what you want for Christmas.
Yeah, that's it. What's up, fat boy?
What's going on, you big black oil stain, you?
Hey, I don't know, man. Feeling a little greasy right now. You the greasiest nigga I know. That's all right. Where's my wife, Mimi?
We are now joined by the lady of the show, the one and only Miss Dreami Mimi.
Hey, Dreami.
Hey, guys. Hey, Mo. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good, girl. I'm good.
Hey, Felix. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I gotta say, we got to give props out really quick to the guy who drew your picture. You guys' picture looks phenomenal. Inclusion now, it looks so professional. I gotta say, kudos to. I believe his name was Chad Engel. Is that correct?
Yep.
Chad Engel Art. Yep. And you can
that was
check
just
him
amazing.
Out on Facebook.
Love it. The three official hosts of the show now part of the picture there.
He needs to make a correction on my photo, man. My damn head ain't that damn long. My head ain't that long. Shit. What you talking about?
It's a caricature, Mo.
That dude got me looking like a bucket head, man. I am a character. I know I'm a character. You ain't got to tell me that. My head ain't that big, though. Got my head, man.
Go ahead, man.
Got my head looking like a watermelon. What's up with that?
A watermelon with a beige mustache.
Yeah. Remind me of that football coach this week that got fired, man. You heard about that, right?
No, what happened?
Football coach in South Carolina, after every victory, right, the team's been painting black faces on watermelons, busting them. A ritual after the football game. Yeah, he got fired. He's been the coach at that school for over 15 years, man.
Well, I mean, hey, Dusty got fired for sleeping with the kids. He got fired for painting watermelons. I mean, it's a fine line on what you can do as a coach.
Well, I mean, come on, man. He's been coaching 15 years, man. All he was doing was painting black faces on watermelons. I mean, I'm not offended by it. You know, I would have been offended by it if he'd have been painting black faces on watermelons and, you know, and tossing chickens. Now then, I would have been offended. You know, so when you put watermelon and chicken together,
you can't paint black faces on watermelons. Those are two stereotypes all rolled up in one, combined into one thing. No, of course there was some. You know how sensitive you black people are.
No, man, like I said, you know, the black face on the watermelon wasn't a problem, you know, but when they, you know, as long as they don't bring no chickens in the play, then we all good.
All right. Dreami, black face on watermelon, you offended?
I mean, not personally, but I think it's definitely poor taste, and I do think that he should have been reprimanded.
He was reprimanded. They fired his ass.
He got fired.
Right.
They fired him. They cut him loose.
He got fired.
Yep, they cut him loose. Then they named each watermelon. Each watermelon had a particular name too, like Junior, Buzz or something.
All right, y'all. Huge show tonight. We got Shawn Stasiak on the show tonight. Big, gigantic talent in his own right, WWE, WCW, and other places. But the son of the legendary Stan the Man Stasiak, we're going to find out about his career, what it was like growing up Stasiak. I used to watch, the Stan the Man Stasiak was another one that I grew up as a kid watching on WOR-TV, Channel 9 in New York. When Vince McMahon was just a young commentator with Antonino Rocca. He was in that Bruno Sammartino, Superstar Billy Graham, Grand Wizard of Wrestling era. So we're going to find out from Shawn what it was like growing up. Stasiak got a couple of huge announcements before the end of the show about some of the things we're doing, some of the appearances we're making. Men on a Mission, Not Your Mama's Radio Show on the road this winter and this spring. And, we're just having a good time. And an update on our initiative our wellness initiative. We're calling the program Equilibrium. We're going to get more into that. And we've also got a local show coming up. Smash Mouth Wrestling is going to be here in Valparaiso, Indiana, November 22nd. We're going to hear from the promoter for that show, and it's going to be huge. Al Snow is going to be a part of that deal. So we're going to hear from those guys before. So we got a real
man, that better not be Jeremy Seabolt, man. That better not be Jeremy Seabolt.
What's wrong with Jeremy Seabolt, man?
You better not be having Jeremy Seabolt on our radio program, man.
Ain't nothing wrong with Jeremy. Let's leave Jeremy Seabolt.
Man, how you gonna Anyway, go ahead, man. Jesus. How you gonna have Jeremy Seabolt on the radio program, man?
Well, because Jeremy Seabolt is trying, and we gonna get a brother a chance.
Man, we don't allow smart marks on our radio program.
We're going
to be promoters on our radio program. We don't do that. We are all professional here. We all professional.
Oh, God, please make it stop. We're going to give a man a chance.
Oh, man. Jesus Christ.
Leave Jeremy Seabolt alone. He's trying. He's getting this promotion off the ground. He got a lot of ideas, so we're going to give a brother a chance. You shut up.
What about a payday for the brothers then, man? We just got kicked out like the whole deal.
If you stop bashing the guy, you might get a payday, brother.
No, I'm a basher. I'm gonna go to this show. I'm gonna set something on fire at this show.
All right, well, we gonna let Jeremy come on and defend himself and tell him why you will not be getting a payday now.
Okay. Anyway, before you get started in the program, right? Can anybody confirm rumors about the Undertaker being on The Walking Dead?
I haven't heard nothing about that.
I've seen pictures that he's taken with Michelle McCool, his wife. They've been kind of having fun doing things out in Dallas. But as far as rumors to the extent of him being on any kind of television show, I think he's pretty much keeping a low profile as far as making appearances, except for when he did the Comic-Con a few weeks back. and just kind of making appearances with his wife and the little programs that they take part in Dallas. That's about all I've heard. I'm not sure about Walking Dead. That'd be pretty cool, though.
I saw something earlier today on the internet where they did the premiere of The Walking Dead, and then next Sunday he's supposed to be on the show, because apparently, I don't know how true it is. That's why I'm asking if anybody's confirmed it. But apparently he's been in Atlanta, Georgia, filming some episodes of The Walking Dead. Yeah.
Well, I'd definitely be interested to find out.
Gossip going around. That's some gossip going around. So I don't know.
That would be cool if he is. I think it would. That show is already a hit, but it would certainly raise their stock if he was on there. I think he'd be great for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that's not the same show The Edge is a part of, is it?
No. That one is on. That's Haven, I believe it's called, on the Sci-Fi channel.
Okay, yeah, that's it. Yeah. Is that show?
The Walking Dead is actually a really big hit show.
Yeah. Yeah. Is Haven still on the air?
Yeah.
He actually made an appearance this past Monday night.
That's what I heard.
We'll get into that a little bit later with the Raw report, of course.
I hope it wasn't another one of them throw together shows, you know.
The go home show to Hell in a Cell, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna find out from Dreamy this week. Raw, did they just throw this one together? My favorite segment.
So how's your day been, Dreamy?
But Dreamy, yes or no, for a preview, just yes or no. Raw this week, did they just throw this one together?
I thought it was decent.
All right. They didn't just throw this one together, but all right.
Well, we might have a pretty decent weather report tonight then.
Pardon?
We might have a pretty decent weather report tonight then. If Dreamy thought Raw was decent. End of October, 83 degrees. Yeah, true. So what else is going on, man?
We disagree.
Well, yeah. Like I disagree with you hearing Jeremy Seabold on the radio program. But anyway, it ain't my show.
Well, like I said, the brothers is anyway, you know what? Well, he ain't did nothing to you anyway. I'm just saying about it. What did he ever do to you?
He excluded me, man.
Okay, well, I tell you what. When he come on the show, right, you could ask him, did he exclude you, and then y'all can, go back and forth and squash that. It ain't like he excluded you.
Look, man, calm down. Don't get your panties in the tight wad. I know that's your boyfriend and everything. You know, I know y'all butt buddies, but come on now.
Yeah, okay. Sounds like a little jealousy thing, because you've been my butt buddy longer than him.
Maybe I am a little jealous.
Yeah, okay. Well, that explains a lot.
But anyway.
It's all right, Daddy. It's nobody but you.
Yeah, okay, Mama. All right. Mama speaker. All right. Hey, so did anybody see the video from China this week?
Yep, I actually talked to her about
I didn't see it, but I just read about it.
Yeah. She's adamant about that domestic violence stuff, you know, and how Stephanie McMahon them try to downplay it, talking about if they're found to be guilty, they'll get suspended.
Yeah, she was very, very outspoken and still has been very outspoken about it all over her social media. And, you know, people are going to hate on her and say she's just bitter because Hunter went with Stephanie and blah, blah, blah. But it's been 15 years, so I'm pretty sure she's over that.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't know. She didn't sound over it to me.
Well, I think she has. She just has feelings in the sense that, she's not really fond of the way Stephanie represents herself when she knows in reality what kind of person Stephanie was, at least behind the scenes.
Right, man. I agree. You know what, Felix? You hit the nail on the top of the head on that one, man. How can you sit back, you know, being a decent human being, and watch a scumbag, stand on public TV and make themselves out to be, holier than thou when you know they're a scumbag. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not calling anybody in particular scumbag, but if you know a scumbag and they standing on national television acting like they, Billy Graham or something, how could you in your right mind sit back and see that and not say something?
Yeah.
I applaud her for having the guts to say, you know what, screw it, I'm going to say something. I ain't afraid to say something against Stephanie McMahon or Vince McMahon or, there's so many people out there that's afraid to do that.
That's true.
Speak out. I mean, the truth of the matter is there's so many people out there in the world that's afraid to speak out against them, because of the wrestling business, so I'm just not that person anymore.
All right.
I think she just wants people to be not afraid of the man or the bigger companies if you're speaking out against them for fear of repercussions or anything happening. They come back at you for whatever reason. It doesn't necessarily have to be China in particular. Anybody else could speak up about it. And there have been people to speak up about it.
Of course.
They call him bitter, but like I said, nobody really knows what's going on behind the scenes. We only get privy to the fact of what's on television. Only those who've been backstage and understand what's happened. I mean, you can go back even to when you and Oscar were there, and you got to see things that not many of us really knew about. And how they portrayed people on television completely different to how they were backstage.
Oh yeah, man.
Oh yeah, no, let's not speak. Hey Vince, can I get 8 tickets to Raw and a box of merchandise? What? What am I doing radio and tell you to go F yourself?
Okay. Look, shameless plug. That's just kayfabe way of saying, man, let's not talk bad about them because I won't get no more tickets or no more merchandise. Okay, we won't talk bad about them.
Just like that. You just like cussing the restaurant manager out and saying, all right, can I get a comp meal?
Well, I mean, I can, honest to God, I could, do without a box of merchandise and tickets. If you want to do me a favor, put me on TV and give me a payoff. Give me a payday, I mean,
what I would like to see from you guys, actually, Oscar and Mo, and Mimi, you know what, we could even put you in this as well because, I mean, you guys are a team. How about, somewhere down the line, making some Not Your Mama's Radio Show T-shirts or even Men on a Mission T-shirts, something in memorial of Nelson, the missing Men on the Mission member, gone but definitely not forgotten. Some ideas to make some T-shirts, People have gone to, like, ProWrestlingTees.com and other outlets to make T-shirts. I think that'd be a good idea.
Yeah, well, it's funny you mentioned Pro Wrestling Tees actually have a contract to do that, and they actually have made a Men on a Mission T-shirt, and they have made a caricature T-shirt with all 3 of us on it. But now that we got this new graphic, we're going to submit that one too. So, yeah, you hit the nail right on the head there, Felix.
Awesome. I look forward to it. I look forward to my complimentary shirt and all, but, hint, hint. Just kidding.
No problem. No, we got you.
We got you.
I'm very proud of you guys. You guys have come a long way, and Mimi's definitely she's got her voice in a part of the show. She's definitely a huge part of it, and definitely very proud of how far you guys have come.
Yeah, there was a definitive plan when we had that graphic made to include her in it. So yeah,
absolutely.
We are moving in God's direction in about 15 different ways. So believe me, my friend. You hit the nail right on the head. We got so much many things going on.
So do I get to put my crackhead girlfriend on the T-shirt too?
Yeah, why not? Can I ask you a question? How many people do you plan to piss off tonight before we get off the radio? Just so I can have a count.
Hey, look. You can be the Gorilla Monsoon of this program. I'm being the Bobby Heenan of the program. You understand? So, just as a matter of fact, I just got through pulling needles out of my arm, man. So, I'm still awake. I just walked in the door of the clinic. I just walked in the door from the clinic.
All right, well, the comments of Sir Mo don't necessarily represent all of us here at Not Your Mama's Radio Show. They represent the comments of Sir Mo. So you all make sure that you address your concerns to Sir Mo, P.O. Box, ASSHOLE, that's Douchebag, Tennessee, area code, zip code, whatever.
Did you say Douchebag, Tennessee?
Douchebag, Tennessee.
Oh, okay. At least you got the name right.
Oh,
boy.
Never a dull moment on Not Your Mama's Radio Show, guys.
So,
Never.
What time is Stasiak supposed to be calling? Is he late or what?
Are we calling him or he calling us?
He's not called in yet. I've been keeping an eye on the switchboard, and I haven't seen any numbers pop up yet. So as soon as I see, I will definitely screen the call.
So tell us about this Smash Mouth pro wrestling.
What is going on?
Because you know I got sent the graphic and the information and everything, and when I saw who sent the graphic and everything, I unfriended him on my Facebook page. So tell us about that.
What you doing around?
I'm resting it.
I'm actually hearing from Shawn Stasiak right now, giving him the call-in number. We should be hearing from him momentarily.
Okay.
All right.
But back to Smash Mouth Pro Wrestling.
Shut up.
What does Smash Mouth stand for?
What?
What does Smash Mouth stand for?
Smash Mouth stand for if you make me lose this deal, that's what I'm going to do to your ass.
Lose what deal? You ain't supposed to be included in no deal unless I'm included in the deal. Some backhand dealing.
You can go to hell. You got more bookings posted when you going to be here, there, down, and everywhere with a picture of your black ass standing there by yourself, and ain't no picture of Oscar nowhere. I, on the other hand, everywhere I go, there's a picture of me sitting there with you, so you can kiss my fat tuchus.
I think it says MOM, and that stood for Mo, Oscar, and Mabel. Okay, so
it was Mo, Oscar, and Mabel, November 8th, when you're doing the autism thing with just a picture of you smiling all by yourself.
Well, I mean, you're welcome to come.
And then say Oscar all this time that you were down in Alabama, doing your thing. That's why you got beat by Justin Overstreet 3 times in a row.
Oh.
Too bad you don't know what the hell you're talking about. But anyway.
In the shower at the Courtyard Marriott, living it up in the jacuzzi.
In the jacuzzi. I was.
In the jacuzzi?
In the jacuzzi. Eat T-bone steak. That's right, in the jacuzzi. Yep.
This is definitely Not Your Mama's Radio Show with the new and improved, but never forgotten men on a mission. We got Mimi, we got Oscar, we got Mo. We got our own little men on a mission right here.
Last week we had my mama on here. I'm glad she wasn't listening to all this.
Your mom was on the radio last week?
Yeah, she was. Yeah, she sure was.
Absolutely.
What's that talking about?
What's that? Oh, man. Mama buried me on the radio. She was like, he cried and he wouldn't shut up. I'm like, that's why he talked so much today.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
After 6 minutes of that, I was like, well, Ma, you've been a great guest, and I want you to get some rest there in the nursing home, and we're going to call you back real soon.
Guess what I'm playing with right now, man?
We don't want to know.
I'm playing with my Viscera doll.
Oh, my God. You know, they give you grade A narcotics because you are really on fire today.
Hey, hey, man. This thing is nice, man. This thing is built up like Yokozuna, though.
The Viscera doll.
Yep, built up like Yokozuna.
Okay, well, while you're playing with the Viscera, dog, why don't you make it complete? Put in the Viscera tell-all DVD so you really can get a chuckle.
Hey, man.
Woo. Let me tell y'all when Men on the Mission got popular. Men on the Mission got popular not when Oscar started rapping, but when I started dancing.
That's right. Yeah. Men on a Mission wouldn't have been what Men on a Mission is today.
He had to start a dance.
That's why we can't get no bookers now, man.
Yeah, I get it. You don't have him to dance no more.
Well, I can't wait for the book to come out.
Yes.
You know what? I think Oscar. I'm not sure if you noticed if you're on Facebook. He just promoted the link to the show, saying he'd be on in about an hour. So I'm assuming he's running a little bit behind schedule, and we'll be calling in a little bit. I can't verify that. I'm just going by a post that I've seen on his Facebook page now.
All right. So tell y'all what we're going to do then. We are going to run a commercial, get into the WWE report, our WWE analysis, and then by that time, maybe Shawn will be joining us. So, Phyllis,
shall we go to commercial real quick?
Yep.
All right. Back in just a moment, guys.
All righty.
Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Everywhere I look, I see pink. Pink, 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 pink. Ribbons, pens, hats, bats, credit cards, race cars, headphones, golf balls, appliances, pom-poms, sneakers, food. That's a lot of pink. Everyone coming together to fight a disease that affects 1 in 8 women in the U.S. in her lifetime. At WWE, we think there can never be enough pink. When somewhere around the world a woman is still dying of breast cancer every 74 seconds. That's why WWE supports Susan G. Komen. And together, we are making a difference in the fight against breast cancer. What can you do to help? Don't just see pink. Act pink. Get involved. Make a donation. Participate in a race for the cure. Take a walk. Support a friend. Buy a t-shirt or two. Get screened. And encourage the ones you love to do the same. For more information on how you can get involved, visit Komen.org/WWE.
Okay, so I looked down at my feet and looked at here. My corns have got corns, my blisters have blisters, and my bunions have got bunions. The ugliest thing even I've ever seen. And the swelling. What can I say about the swelling? I went to the beach and I stepped in the sand, and some wise-ass kid wrote Bigfoot was here. They're not even footprints. I've got dinosaur tracks in the sand. I went to my nephew's 8th birthday party, and they thought I had clown shoes. But they weren't clown shoes. They were my bare feet that were that swollen. I go to a podiatrist. He looks down at my feet, and his medical opinion is one word, damn. As he fainted, I left. So I go down to Freeman Foot Care. Dr. Freeman looks at my feet. She gives me the right medication. Now I'm shuffling off to Buffalo. Freeman Foot Care, where the moral is they know what the hell they're doing. Freeman Foot Care, with locations in Griffith, Indiana, and Gary, Indiana.
Dude sounded like a clown.
What's that?
That dude sounded like a clown in that foot care commercial.
Yeah, I know. This is what happens, till you get a decent, commercial, gotta improvise. All right, the WWE report with Dreami Mimi. Dreami, what you got for us this week, girl?
This is your WWE report for the week of October 19th, 2014.
Man, she
the
sounds sick.
discombobulation between Total Divas and the current in-ring storyline continues to be a conundrum. With Brie and Nikki Bella, We Are Family seems to be the theme on the reality show. But they have a bitter rivalry on current WWE programming. At Sunday's Hell in a Cell, they face each other, and the loser must be the winner's slave for a month. If that's sisterhood, then my enemies need to give me a call. Speaking of Total Divas, the mid-season finale airs this Sunday with a return in January, featuring 2 new cast members, Paige and Alicia Fox. Has Rusev crossed the line? As he expected to give his signature salute to the Russian flag, he was met by Old Glory. The American flag appeared in its stead. Angered by this, he tears at the flag, seeming to enrage a member of our own armed forces. Said soldier stormed the ring and received Rusev's patented super kick, knocking him unconscious. An enraged Big Show went backstage to avenge the fallen hero, but Rusev got out of dodge. The drama is set for their impending Hell in a Cell fight for honor. Let's walk through this scenario as we rewind the clock. Ambrose defeats Cena, gets a shot at Rollins. Cena gets Orton. We've all seen this movie a dozen times, shaking my head. But the winner of this match gets an upcoming title match with Brock Lesnar. No Money in the Bank briefcase to cash in, no Royal Rumble to win, just a shot at the title. Cena, Orton, Orton, Lesnar, Lesnar, Cena, and that's what's best for business? While Randy Orton is determined to redeem the title, he went out on Raw to let the universe know, but was interrupted by Cena and his own plans for the title matchup. But this battle of who wants what ended in an RKO to John Cena and the Beast advocate Paul Heyman. You had to have seen it. And in an additional surprise for the night, Mick Foley showed up to warn Seth and Dean that after Hell in a Cell, they will never be the same. On Raw's Backstage Pass, Hulk Hogan gave his predictions for the upcoming Hell in a Cell. In the words of Hogan, Seth Rollins is the devil himself, and it's anybody's game in the match between Ambrose and Rollins because one's crazy and the other one's dangerous. As for Cena and Orton's match, he's betting on Cena to come out on top. He's also looking for a Big Show to represent our country and take down the big Russian that is Rusev. We can expect to see Rey Mysterio and Alberto Del Rio in Mexico's AAA next month. Clearly, for them, what's best for business. And finally, executive produced by John Cena? Reports out of Hollywood suggest Cena is working on producing several reality show-based products. We will keep our eyes wide open. And look for WWE Slam City to air every Wednesday night on Nickelodeon from 9 to 11. We here at Not Your Mama's Radio Show wish the family and friends of Ox Baker well, as he passed on this week. Rest in peace, Ox, truly a wrestling legend. This WWE report was brought to you by Hell in a Cell from Dallas exclusively on the WWE Network.
Thank you there, dearie. Thank you. So, let's get right to it.
Wait a minute. Hold on, man.
What?
Wait a minute. I just want to clarify something real quick. I just got this message on Facebook, right, from Jeremy Seabolt, telling me, man, I still love you, even though you unfriended me on Facebook and you bashed me on your radio program. You still love me. Is this guy gay or what, man? I don't want no dude loving me. Is this guy gay or what?
Please make it stop.
And you gonna have this dude on the radio program? Really? Go ahead. Proceed with your program, Oscar. I'll sit back. I won't say nothing else about Smash Mouth Wrestling.
Oh, Jesus.
The rest of the program.
Stop.
Go ahead. Just go ahead. I ain't gonna mess with your EBT money. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Dog.
Now, I don't know. That ship might have failed. What? Okay. So, Mimi, did you get the name of the soldier the guy? No. Okay, the guy was Jason Strife of he owns Madden Pro Wrestling, so clearly that was a setup, but that's who they identified, that soldier that Rusev did the super kick So, we got that situation cleared up. So, all right. So, your predictions. What's going to happen at Hell in a Cell this Sunday?
I don't have a clue, man. I honestly, this is. I don't even know who. I don't know who's wrestling anybody other than Cena and Orton. So, and that's not something I want to see. So, I don't have a clue, to be honest with you. I don't have a clue. It's not something that I plan to watch, honestly. There's nothing intriguing about it. I mean, we've seen Cena and Orton 455, 337 times, 1,500,000 times. So, there's too many numbers. I can't even count it that many times. So it's not interesting, man. There's nothing interesting about that. The most interesting thing about John Cena and Randy Orton today are the little videos going around where he's RKOing everybody on Facebook. Yes. That's the only thing that's the biggest thing interesting about Randy Orton today is the videos that's circulating around him RKOing people. Like the one that was the funnest was when Sting introduced what was the dude that fell through the wall? WCW?
Shockmaster.
Yeah, when Sting introduced Shockmaster and he comes through the wall, they had one of those things where Randy Orton RKO'd him. That's why he fell through the wall. That was the funniest thing I ever seen, man. I mean, so that's the most interesting thing going on with Randy Orton right now. None of the rest of the stuff they're doing is interesting. I just think they need to go into a new bag of tricks, man. I think they got all that talent down there in Florida. They need to just go on and bring them up, and somehow work them into the mix, man. And get these guys somebody fresh to work. The same old matches, man. And I'm sorry, but I'm not ever going to be impressed with Big Show against anybody ever again. I haven't been impressed with Big Show. I haven't been impressed with Big Show since the big monster truck fell off the top of the building in WCW. So
that was almost 20 years ago.
Right. So that's how impressed I am with Big Show. So I mean it's not compelling TV. It's my opinion. Nobody might not care about my opinion, but I really don't give a damn. It's not compelling TV.
Well, he did ask for your opinion, and that's what you gave. So
right. So what do you think? Who do you think is going to win, Oscar? How do you think the pay-per-view is going to turn out?
You know what? To be totally honest, I mean, it's just, I just wish that they would just take 3 months off and just come back and it's a whole new show. I just can't bring myself to really get excited about it right now. None of it. I mean, I don't want to see Cena Orton again. I personally, I wish they'd bring back Mimi's boyfriend. What's his name? Who's the guy? The third Shield member? Got a brain spot right there. Roman Reigns. I wish they'd bring back Roman Reigns. I think the show is better when Reigns is on. I think Lesnar always brings some spice to it. They need to do more with him, but he got a contract where he basically could show up whenever the hell he feel like it. I wish I had one of them deals getting that kind of money any damn where.
I just think, I all in all think that was stupid in itself. To give that guy that kind of contract, make him the champion. I mean, tell me how you justify giving a guy a contract like that, making him the champion, but taking the belt away from yes. You know what I'm saying? Because he got hurt and he can't wrestle for 30 days. Really?
Exactly.
Tell me how you justify that.
They out the same ratio of time, right?
Right. Tell me how you justify that.
That's a really good point. You take the belt away from Daniel Bryan because he's hurt and he's not on point. At least Bryan, Bryan may not have been able to work, but Bryan wouldn't have no problem showing up every now and then to cut a promo with the belt or do whatever. Lesnar just, whatever he feel like showing up.
Right. I mean, it's not like. I mean, come on, man. It's not like it used to be in the old days when they had that stipulation you have to defend the title at least once every 30 days.
Right.
They don't even sell it like that. They don't even get the belt credibility like that for it to even make a difference. Daniel Bryan could have been carrying that belt to this day, showing up on Raw every Monday night, still involved in something. No, not taking bumps, not doing anything risky, but still a part of the show, giving the show, some flavor, as opposed to, putting the belt on Brock Lesnar, who shows up. And when he does show up, man, it's no big deal. It's no big deal.
But let me tell you what the big difference is. The big difference is years ago in the 80s, in the 90s, and even early 2000s, the belts all meant something. The tag team title had some prestige to it. The IC title even meant something. And the World Championship was coveted. They don't put emphasis on those championships like that no more.
Oh, no. There was a time when there was more people chasing after the honky tonk man as the Intercontinental Champion than they was chasing after the WWE Champion.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You had people like Steamboat, people like Macho. That belt was a hot commodity, man.
Right.
That Intercontinental belt used to be hotter than the WWE belt, man. I mean, and those belts, when you got those things, man, you didn't get them on Monday and lose them. You usually got them belts and kept them 6 months, 7 months, 8 months. You know what I mean? People, you didn't see people. The fastest person to lose a title in WWE history, was Shane Douglas. Shawn Michaels forfeits the belt one night. Shane Douglas gets it, and the same night he drops the belt to Scott Hall. That was the fastest win and title defense I ever seen, other than when they did the 24/7 hardcore belt. When they did that, and even that.
Did that beat the record where Bob Backlund dropped it to Nash?
Kevin Nash.
No, how long did Bob Backlund hold the belt? He held it longer than a day. I'm talking about Shane Douglas got the belt earlier that night in the program when Shawn Michaels had to give it up because he had gotten beat up by those guys at that bar.
Right.
Then when he got beat up and 1, 2, 3 Kid was underneath the car hiding?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And Shawn Michaels out there getting beat up, 1, 2, 3 Kid underneath the car hiding, and then he had to surrender the belt on Raw that night, and then, pretty much, because I think he was in the program against Shane Douglas, and Shane Douglas ended up as a champion, and then the same night, the Clique had Shane Douglas do the job for Scott Hall. The same night. Those belts used to mean something, man. They don't mean anything.
Back in the 70s and 80s, going back to the early days of WCW, back to Crockett Promotions, NWA days, the world title was coveted beyond anything when Ric Flair had it. Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard, the tag team champions, and then they had the TV title. Even the George and Florida TV title were main event matches at house shows and on television. Those were your main event matches. The world title match is not even the main event on a WWE pay-per-view no more. That ain't the main event.
Right. You're exactly right. I
personally think this.
Go ahead, Mimi. I'm sorry.
The writing, they're not doing a good job setting these things up. And like what you guys were saying about having the titles, being coveted, it would make so much more sense that okay, Sheamus has a title now. For Sheamus to have several rivals other than just The Miz running after his title, you know, I mean, it would make for a better show. It would make for, you know, some variety, definitely, if they had more than one person competing, like, you know, as their rival against, like, for that specific title. Like, okay, now the Usos and Goldust and Stardust. Okay, but there are other tag team groups in WWE. Put them in there, too.
Yeah, but see, you're right. The writing sucks because here's the thing. Back in the day, the object of the thing was everybody wanted to be a champion.
Yep.
Everybody wanted to be a champion. You know, everybody was gunning for the World's Heavyweight Championship. When you was a tag team, you came in, you wanted to know who was on top, who was the top tag team, and you wanted the tag team belt. You know, so that's the way. That's you know, they don't have it that way. It's like we just have wrestlers working in the company, and we're just wrestling.
They're not working for anything.
Right, and then every now and then somebody'll step on our toes or say something about our mama, and we'll get mad about it. And so then now we got an issue. What happened to wanting to be the champion? Because the champions are the guys that make the money. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? When the Horsemen had the belt, those guys walked around looking like $1 million. You know, that's what it meant to be the champion. Champion meant prestige, meant money. You know, now, I mean, I don't see it that way in none of the companies where the titles really mean anything, you know.
Yeah, it's really all just I don't understand what happened, where it went, where it's going. Because yeah, like you said, I mean, those were the money matches, the main event matches. You know,
right?
Those titles and who had the titles, those are the guys on top and getting them big paychecks. So when you back there in that locker room and you talking events and you are whatever, that is your goal. That is your purpose. That is why people hate you, you know, when you back there, if they see that you got the title or you poised to get it, you know, because people know that's where the big money is. And I'm not talking about a work on television. I'm talking about it from a shoot angle of that was the way the ladder of the rungs of the ladder of the business went.
Right. I mean, for example, man,
your serious issues between the groups and the families were settled at Survivor Series. That's when all your serious issues between, you know, this group and this group, or, you know, all those issues were settled at Survivor Series. You went to the Royal Rumble thinking, man, if I win the Royal Rumble, I automatically get a title shot, a main event match at WrestleMania. That was the whole purpose of anybody wanting to win the Royal Rumble. Then when you went, then King of the Ring, if you won King of the Ring, meant you automatically got a title shot and headline SummerSlam.
Right.
And that's what people wanted to win. People wanted to win the King of the Ring, and people wanted to win the Royal Rumble because those were opportunities, you know, that were set in place if you won those particular events. Now, you know, they eliminated King of the Ring, so there again, there's no big prize. There's no big prize. There's nothing for guys to shoot for, you know, as far as getting in a main event title match at a pay-per-view. Everybody wants to headline a pay-per-view. Right. That's where the money's at. The money's not just being on the pay-per-view. I mean, just the average person on the pay-per-view is going to get about $5,000, you know. But if you're in the main event, you stand, especially WrestleMania, you're in the main event WrestleMania, you stand to get $900 to $1 million.
Right.
And how do you get that spot? You got that spot by getting over and then them putting you over at Royal Rumble.
Right.
Yeah, and those stories, the writing always led up to that.
Exactly.
Right after you left SummerSlam, you had all these issues between 3 or 4 different people that led to your Survivor Series matches.
Right.
I think that it was just a bad idea to do a pay-per-view every month. I think when they started doing that,
these pay-per-views don't have. See, you hit the nail on the head. The pay-per-views designed back then all led to a story that went around all the way to WrestleMania. It was like watching a soap opera, or like watching one of those series, what those open-ended series back in the day, like the Lone Raiders cliffhangers. I put it like that. And the pay-per-views all succeeded one after the other, where they all led up to something. These pay-per-views today have no rhyme, no reason, no direction, and everybody's going, what the hell did you just see it? What for?
There's no build-up.
There's no build-up.
So it doesn't make you anticipate the actual production. It's like, okay, it's nothing to make you excited about watching these pay-per-views.
Right. And then after pay-per-view, you couldn't wait, especially if you missed the pay-per-view. If you missed the pay-per-view on Sunday, you couldn't wait until it was like you almost, man, I can't wait till Monday Night Raw come on so I can see what happened at the pay-per-view.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, that's the way the TV programs used to be back in the day. You'd sit there and they'd advertise certain matches at the house shows, right? And you'd be sitting there, you'd be like, well, man, I can't go to the Coliseum this week, man. And you hate that you miss it, but you sit at home in anxious anticipation to see the TV show the next week just to find out if Flair beat Dusty Rhodes.
Right.
If Flair beat Steamboat. What happened? So the TV is just not done that way anymore.
And the craziest part about it, or the saddest part, is just when Vince Russo was on talking about the writing. Okay, back then there were 2 writers. Now, if you just got 2 writers and the show was that good, the product was that good then, and now you got about 30 writers on, what? Okay, you wondering why you hemorrhaging money. First thing you need to start cutting is some of these writers that ain't worth nothing.
Right. You're exactly right. It don't take 50 bakers in a kitchen to cook 5 pies, man.
Right.
It just don't. And I know it's a 3-hour show, but I bet you I could sit down in a week's time, start on Monday, from Monday until Sunday, and write a compelling 3-hour show by myself. I don't need 15 other people throwing in their ideas, and then none of all the ideas overlap each other. It don't. It's like putting in a bunch of different ingredients and you get nothing out of it.
Exactly. Right. So you have to have, if you got 15 writers, that has got to be a 12-hour workday where you got so much confusion, everything going on, to everybody coming to a meeting of the minds. It's got to be hell in that room.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's a waste of time and money. If you had 2 people that were able to do the program and do it well back then, okay,
right,
add a couple more if you need a couple more. But that's it. 20, 30, it does not take all that.
No, I don't think so. Especially when it's not working.
It's evident. I was just going to say it's evident it doesn't take all that. I mean, look at the product.
Right. It's not proving itself,
Exactly.
And what the thing about it is, here's the problem. You have too many egos that nobody's going to swallow their pride and say, you know what, this crap ain't working. We need to, make changes.
Yeah, no.
We need to make changes. And like just like some of the recent firings, like, for example, Justin Roberts got fired. Look how long that kid was there as an announcer.
Right.
You know, I mean, how do you just justify firing certain people like that? You know.
He wasn't a Howard Finkel. He's not a Tony Chimmel, but the kid was damn good.
Yeah, but, I mean, Howard's not going to come back and do Monday Night Raw.
No,
he don't want
not.
to go on the road. He don't want to. I mean, if they tied his hands, he would. You know, because he's a company man. I mean, I'm not going to say he won't do it. Never say never in this game, but, you know, if he has a choice, he's not going to do it. He's going to stay on and work on the website. But, you know, 'cause that's the division that he's working with. You know, so, I mean, it just doesn't make any sense, man. It doesn't make sense, and to me, I just feel like they're just throwing money down the drain because they can't be recouping it.
Well, did you read the latest stock news?
No.
The stock took another major hit because the investors do not feel like the network is going to reach the numbers that it needs to reach no time soon. So they lost confidence in it, and they're saying that the subscribers, a large number of subscribers that have subscribed to the network, are very unhappy with the network, the content, and everything else. So they're projecting actually to lose people rather than gain the numbers that they need to get. So it was a big money gamble.
They were hoping that those numbers would spike and go up once they got into the overseas markets. But what they fail to realize is too many people know how to beat the system, man.
Not only that, the problem is they're not putting anything out there for people to want to go buy it. If what you're watching on Monday night and Friday night is what you're going to get on these, you know, on Sunday pay-per-views and on the network, what am I paying $9.99 a month for?
That makes sense.
Because what you giving me for free or, you know, for my regular cable purchase is not that good. So, I mean, yeah.
Plus, they haven't stopped. They haven't. I think they haven't effectively communicated with YouTube not to allow people to post WWE content on YouTube for free.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You can still go on YouTube and find certain matches for free.
Yeah.
So why pay $9 on for the network when you could do that?
Yep.
Yeah, because it's like
they're not covering all the bases.
It's like 8 pages of our matches on YouTube still. So yeah, why am I going to get the network to see what I can get on YouTube? You're right.
Right.
Yep.
It don't make sense. It's like they somebody just ain't monitoring stuff. So things are just not. I don't know. They don't have a good system.
I don't think they even thought about that and it makes sense because just like you just said, okay, I can go on YouTube and look up whoever my favorite group or person is and watch their different matches. But when I go to the network, I'm subject to what they decide they want to show for the month.
Right.
So, you know, and what they show up for the month might not be who I want to see or what I want to see at the moment. So.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of flaws in it that they haven't gotten worked out, and they don't have any oversight on. I think, you know.
What I don't understand is insanity. Doing the same thing, expecting different results, and that's what they're doing.
Right.
So it's like, okay, so when are you going, you know, scratch the board and start over, do something different, do something shocking to change things?
You know
you
what?
just don't go down with the sinking ship.
You know what? Here's what you got to look at it like this right here. Okay? This is going to be a crazy analogy, but this is how you got to look at it. As a dope dealer, and I stood on the street corner and I sold dope. As a dope dealer, once you get somebody hooked on something, you just feed it to them. Whether it's good stuff or bad stuff, you feed it to them. They don't have any other option. I mean, Ring of Honor's not a better choice. I mean, I'm just talking about from production value.
Yeah.
Ring of Honor's not a better choice. TNA is not a better choice. You know,
Right.
so what you got is you just got a bunch of junkies, and you just crumbing them, and you're gonna keep crumbing them. You're gonna keep crumbing them till somebody comes along and offers a better product. So either Ring of Honor needs to step up, TNA needs to step up, or Jeff Jarrett needs to come blowing them out the water with his first gig.
Yeah.
You know, because right now they're not feeling that. They're not feeling that pressure from the competition. That's what made Eric Bischoff so great with WCW.
Well, see, this is my thing. I understand what you're saying about they're not feeling it from the competition, but they should be feeling it from the lack of what they got going on as far as the numbers going down. They're not getting the response that they wanted to get from the network. So with all of these negatives, they should be getting.
But ask yourself this question, because it's a human thing too. You got to remember this now. You got to remember one thing. You got to always remember this. The company's not getting its numbers. The network's not getting its numbers. They're not getting the ratings, okay? But has Vince McMahon personally, not from a company standpoint, but personally, from a personal standpoint, lost enough money for him to worry about it? Has Triple H, his payroll, been cut enough for him to worry about it? The company's not doing as well, but those guys are still getting the same money. Yeah. They're making the same money. So for them, there's no reason to worry. Yeah. We're still getting the same money. Now, if you go from making $10 million a year, 1 year, and then things get so bad, and so the company can only pay you $1 million the next year, then you're going to start sweating bullets.
Start making changes,
Right. See, that's what the problem is. The company's not doing well, but the people that's making the money, they ain't taking pay cuts. Look at it now. We talking about we got to cut the budget $20 million, right? You ain't not once heard nobody say that Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, Vince McMahon, or any of those guys that took a pay cut. All you've seen is people get fired.
Yeah.
And speaking of Vince, Triple H, and Stephanie, let me ask you this. It seemed to me that a lot of these problems started coming when Stephanie and Triple H pretty much assumed the wheel. Is a lot of this their fault because Vince is not as hands-on as he used to be? No. It seemed to me when Vince had total control, things were different.
But
Vince still got total control.
Vince still is yes and no. It's not totally Stephanie and Hunter's deal. It's not totally their fault. I don't believe it's totally their fault. I just think that what it is you have a company that's complacent, that have turned into a global juggernaut, and for so long in their brain, still now, even with the bad times in their brain, there's nothing else out there better than WWE.
Yeah.
You know, the WWE is in their brain. In their brain now, WWE is as big, if not bigger, than the NFL, Major League Baseball, and the NBA basketball.
Yeah.
Because you hear them say it so many times that we don't have an off season. Our guys are known worldwide. Our guys. You don't know every Major League Baseball player or every NBA. I mean, you know some of the top stars, but you don't know some of them guys on them teams. You know what I mean? But when you start talking about wrestling and you start calling off some names, you start ratting off some names, people are like, yeah, I know him. He sucked. But even though they say he sucked, they still know him.
They
still
know him, yeah.
I couldn't name 5 people that play for the Chicago Bulls right now. You know, the only name that I can even associate with the Chicago Bulls right now, and I don't even know if he's healthy, is Derrick Rose.
Derrick Rose, right? Yeah.
You know what I mean? But as long as they think that way and they feel that way, man, they're not gonna make changes, man. You ain't hearing John Cena take a pay cut.
Well,
you know they took no pay cut.
Vince told us to our face back in 1993 when we had that meeting when he told us that we was gonna go to A tours and B tours. The first thing he said was we was the most recognizable athletes in the world.
Right. Exactly. And as long as they think that way and feel that way, they're not going to do anything different. They're not going to do anything different until it starts hurting the pockets of, people, And I guarantee, even though Linda McMahon stepped down, you know what I'm saying, as a president of the company, I guarantee she's drawing some kind of payroll.
Oh, well, see, when Vince got to mortgage his house, that's when things going to change. That's what you're saying?
Well, so, yeah. I mean, he's done it before. That's how he did the very first WrestleMania. He sold everything he had. He risked it. And because he did that, in his brain, you know what I mean? He went from nothing to this, so he don't feel like he can be knocked off his throne.
Well, there you have it, folks. I mean, we, here at Not Your Mama's Radio Show, we going to get down to the bottom of it and tell y'all the truth of the matter. We ain't going to sugarcoat nothing.
No, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I haven't watched enough TNA to really know what they're doing, but I see enough on social media to know that, you can tell what the buzz is. If there's a buzz about something, you can tell. And as far as TNA goes, the biggest buzz about TNA right now is the fact that the Hardy Boys are back together.
Right.
Which for TNA could be a good thing if they use it right, because the Hardy Boys has got their own organization called Omega, and man, they draw 2,000 people every time they do a show.
Oh wow, really?
Oh yeah, they drew over 2,000 when they had the Hardy Boys in the main event against the Briscoe brothers. They just recently did another show where they had the Hardy Boys against what was that little young skinny white boy team from TNA that nobody could stand? The Young Bucks. Yeah. Against the Young Bucks, they draw over 2,000 people in upstate New York at a show. Yeah. Matt and Jeff Hardy is a box office smash, man. When you put him with the right folks.
Right.
I'm telling you that it's just, I don't know, man. I think of these two companies, get away from politics as usual. You know what I mean? Then something could be done. When they allow somebody that'll come in there and write a show and be objective and not try to just put their buddies over all the time, and just write compelling TV.
Until then, man, it's going to be the same old. That's why the royalty checks that's why you ain't even going to get on the royalty checks. Ain't even going to get on them, but, we should be receiving royalties off of the network. They ain't paying royalties off of that. And it's a revenue stream, though, right?
Yeah, but see that's the whole thing. According to them, they're losing money on the network, so they ain't trying to.
They are. I mean, that's true. They are losing money. To break even, they're supposed to have at least 1 million subscribers. Yeah, they're losing money. I agree. I understand that, but because they're losing money, don't mean that the boys should lose out. It's still a revenue stream.
Yeah, no, I agree. That is real bogus that they figured out a way, weasel a way to not pay us, for being on there right now.
Right, because the excuse is they losing money. Okay, here's the deal.
you know, we had this conversation earlier. If you're a talent and you're booked for an event, right?
Yeah.
Then you get paid for that event. It doesn't matter if they draw or they don't draw. It's not your responsibility to make that event successful. It's your responsibility to show up and work. Do what they ask you to do. It's their responsibility whether they draw money or lose money to pay you. Right?
Right.
It's just by the same token, they created the network. They got all this footage, you know, they got all this talents that still under contract to receive royalties, that people are being able to see us on the network, and they paying to see us on the network. We should still get paid for that, whether they making money or not. They should take the hit and still pay the talent. That's what's fair. It's not fair to say, well, we're losing money, so we can't pay you. Okay. That's like saying, okay, Hogan, we don't need you on Monday Night Raw no more because we can't afford to pay a $75,000 every time you appear on Raw.
Right.
Yeah, that's not the way it works. You know,
I just got to update. Shawn Stasiak will be calling in about 15 minutes.
Okay. That's not the way it works. You know, I mean, if you book a show and your budget for the show is $12,000, and that's your talent budget. When that talent walks in the door, regardless of how many tickets you sell or done sold, you should have $12,000 in the envelope somewhere to pay everybody. You can't go to everybody and say, well, man, we didn't make the, you know, especially if, you know, folks got guaranteed, you know what I mean? They have money, yeah, they losing money on the network, but they still have money. It's not like they don't have money, you know.
Hey, guys, I just want to let you know, I do have two callers on hold. One of them, I probably saying the name wrong, last name Sebo, Jeremy Sebo.
Yep.
Okay, and also we have Nick Cutler on the line. Shall I go ahead and put him through as well?
Yep, put Nick Dallas through.
All right, both are now officially on the air with you guys.
Jeremy, what's up, my man?
What's going on, fellas? How are you?
I'm all right. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I was thinking about sending Oscar a check, but I don't know about Mo. I don't know, man. He's back pretty hard on the show tonight.
See, the thing about that is, just so we on the same page, the thing about that is you are a wrestling promoter. I don't take checks. I take cash. So if you want to send Oscar a check, you send him a check, but go make mine a cashier's check or a money order. I don't take checks. They tend to be rubbers.
I was gonna say, if I send a check to you, it's gonna bounce faster than Rubbermaid.
No, I ain't expecting a check from you anyway. It's all good. I mean, you the guy that's promoting Smash Mouth Wrestling?
I am the guy that is promoting Smash Mouth Pro Wrestling, sir.
Smash Mouth Pro Wrestling. So that means it's not fake. Is that what you're saying?
Sure. Whatever you say, man.
Okay. Yeah. You said pro wrestling, so that means everybody gets paid, right? That means everybody gets paid, right?
Absolutely. And I'm a good promoter. I got the money put away in an envelope to pay all the guys regardless of how many tickets I sell.
Man, you know what that tells me? That tells me you've been listening to the program and you learned something. So my hat's off to you because you listening. That's a good thing.
Oh, I mean, just in general, I mean,
every time.
First time I don't have the money to pay the boys will be the last time I run a show.
It'll happen. Don't act like it won't happen. As long as you stay in that game, it happens sometimes. Something happens that you don't count on. You know, you figure, okay, you get to the building, you pay for the building, on the way to the ring, on the way to the arena, the truck breaks down, so you got to spend another $400 to get another truck to make sure that the ring makes it there, and that's $400 that you never counted on in the beginning of your budget, and you got to take it out of what money you have right there, and then it don't come back in the door. Somebody's going to get shorted somewhere.
Well, I will make sure that happens on whatever show I bring you up to.
Don't worry about it. I just if I gotta feel like you're gonna do me like that, I just won't accept the booking, man. You know.
No.
But besides all that, tell us what is Smash Mouth Pro Wrestling? What is Smash Mouth Pro Wrestling? What does that mean?
Smash Mouth Pro Wrestling is a brand new company here in Northwest Indiana that is going to put on the show of a lifetime, man. We got a stacked card booked on the first show, and the goal is just to bring old school wrestling back. You know, we don't need thumbtacks and light bulbs and fire and all that garbage. We want to bring back good old fashioned wrestling. You know. Stage sets with, you know, Brother Love and Rowdy Piper, where you get the fans into the story and that type of stuff. That's what our goal is.
Hey, you know what? I hear so many people say that about they want to bring back old school wrestler and they don't need the light bulbs and they don't need the thumbtacks and all that stuff. But see, what people fail to realize is thumbtacks and light bulbs and all that stuff was started in old school wrestling. Yeah, that's all the moondogs used to use. That's all the sheep herders used to use when they used to have the street fights. They used to use any and everything they could get their hands on. That is considered old school wrestling. See, everybody's got that confused, thinking what is considered new school wrestling. It's not the thumbtacks and not the light bulbs. That's not what we consider new school wrestling. New school wrestling is when you got somebody that's putting somebody on top of a box, on top of the top rope, putting them into a power driving position, and then coming out with a moonsault type maneuver. That is new school stuff. That is new school stuff. All the crazy flying maneuvers and stuff. That is what new school wrestling is. New school wrestling is there's no psychology behind anything they do. They just do all these high impact moves and nobody sells it. That's new school wrestling. Old school wrestling is where you have the toothless women and the pretty girls on the front row crying, wanting to climb into the ring because the baby face is getting a snot beat out of him, and they don't know if he's gonna survive the match or not. And you gotta want to climb into the ring with knives so they can stab the heels because the heels are so dirt. That's old school wrestling. That's what people get confused with new school and old school. That's old school wrestling. Old school wrestling is psychology, storylines, and when the wrestlers can connect with the fans. That's what I'm going after. Wrestling is.
That's what I'm going after, but I don't want it to be like a promotion where every spot, you know, every match has to have, you know, some crazy ass spot or you know what I mean, like that. I want it to focus on the wrestling, on the storytelling, on you know, promoting the angles, promoting the characters, you know, building up to events. That's
right.
what
you got Nick Dallas with you. What's going on, Nick?
How you doing, man?
All right, so you're in the main event coming up, Nick. Tell us what's going to happen, brother.
I will be facing former WWE and ECW and current TNA superstar Al Snow, which is a match I've been looking forward to for quite some time. It was actually supposed to happen earlier this year, and Al pulled out of the match for whatever reasons, and I ended up getting Val Venus instead. So I jumped at the opportunity to take the booking.
You think you're going to be able to handle that, brother? Al Snow ain't no joke.
And I'm not no joke either. I'm one of the number one talents in the Midwest, and I've been looked at by all the major companies and gotten the nod from quite a few people. Just finished up with a training session at the end of last year with Harley Race and the Pro Wrestling Noah guys down in Missouri, so I'm no slouch.
All right, so he was trained by Harley Race. Harley Race is the man. Okay, so all right, you guys, where else did you train? Tell us real quick.
I started off in Chicago, Illinois with Sam Desar and Steve Boz out of Windy City Wrestling. After that, I undertook different training of my own accord. I did the Harley race training in Missouri so I could get the Japanese style down when they had the NOAA camp down there. I was actually invited to do TNA gut check in 2011, which stems back to where my personal beef is with Al. So I trained with D-Lo and them at a couple of shows and just oddball training sessions here and there. Steve Carino. Any time I can pick up any additional training, I do that. I plan on going to the Ring of Honor camp at the beginning of next year. Fairly confident about my chances of being able to get picked up there. So.
All right, so Jeremy, tell us real fast. Tell us what we expect to see November 22nd in Valparaiso. Run down the matches for us.
We've got Nick Cutler, the Prime Cut versus Al Snow. We're gonna have a battle royal with the last two guys remaining at the end of the royal will face off later in the night for the pro wrestling heavyweight title. We've got a tag team elimination match on the card to crown tag team champions. And then we have a few other singles matches and whatnot. And we've also got Nick Nitrous coming in with the Nitrous Noise segment. So, as well as Cliff Compton coming in, former Star Domino.
All right, and where's it going to be held at exactly?
Show is going to be November 22nd at Big Shots Bar in Valparaiso, Indiana. I believe the doors to the bar open at 5 and bell time is 6:30.
How much are tickets and where do we get them?
Tickets are general admission is $10. VIP seating is $15. VIP seating with a meet and greet, an autograph from Al Snow is $25. There's a link on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/SPW219. There's a link on there to buy pre-sale tickets and all the information for the show is there.
I got a real important question before I let you go. So if meet and greet with Al Snow is $25, how much is a meet and greet VIP with that guy? What's his name? Oscar. Yeah, him.
Oscar?
Yeah.
Let's
have a serious question. Don't even waste your time answering that one. I have a serious question. Is this an all-adult show?
Yes, it is. It is a 21 and over show because it is at the bar. We are working on a venue, though, for either the end of December or 1st of January. That'll be an all-ages show. I've got the venue secure. I just got to lock down a date with them that works for the next show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we're gonna bounce back and forth. The goal is to bounce back and forth where we can have the family-friendly shows one places, and then we can do the 21 and over shows at another.
Yeah, back to that meet and greet with the guy Oscar. How does that work?
Yeah.
I've never heard of Oscar. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. Thanks for
Oscar will have to send me a message with how much he wants for a meet and greet.
Okay. Thanks for playing. All right. Jeremy Sebo and Nick Dallas from Smash Mouth Wrestling. We're going to be I am going to be in the house that night, November 22nd with Dreamy Mimi. We're going to be there greeting the fans, and I think I'm doing I don't know what I'm doing. I don't got an autograph session. I don't
Sell out.
Nick Cutler.
Yeah, Nick Cutler. Sorry, Nick Cutler. I don't got an autograph session. But I'll see what I got when I get there. Jeremy, we're going to do this again. Closer time, brother. Thank you.
We're gonna get you a table set up, Oscar, so you can sell some autographs and some swag. We'll absolutely take care of you, brother.
I'm glad to hear that. Make sure y'all have some fried chicken on hand.
So Mo, are you gonna come up and take a lesson from the Prime Cut and let them show you how it's done?
From who?
From the Prime Cut, Nick Cutler, the man that's on the phone.
Oh, he's the Prime Cut?
He's the Prime Cut, Nick Cutler.
And you just asked me if I'm going to come up and take lessons from him?
Yeah, you going to come? Yeah. For all the bashing you did on me earlier, he's going to take care of my light work.
Your light work, okay. 360 pounds, 25 years in the business, I don't think so.
330 pounds sounds a tad bit overweight, Mo.
Yeah, a tad bit.
Oh.
A tad bit. I don't think weight has anything to do with it. But that's okay. That's okay. I like you young, disrespectful punks. Because you're the kind of guys, you want me to tell you what I like about you guys? I like you hard-headed guys because you're the kind of guys that's stupid enough to stand there and get your ass beat and just stand there and keep getting your ass beat instead of being smart enough to run. So I like you guys. That's good. My fat ass, y'all really don't want my fat ass to show up. Because I'll show up for real. Yeah.
We'd love to have you come up, and the Prime Cut would make an example of you just like he's going to do Al Snow.
Yeah. First, I'll let Mo go ahead and help carry Al Snow out of the ring. That 300-pound carcass could go ahead and move some weight.
Yeah. That was very compelling. Somebody at Harley Racing School should have talked to you about, doing promos and making a compelling argument or something. I'm not intimidated whatsoever. And as far as me coming up to that show, I don't work for free. I don't know about nobody else, but I don't work for free.
No, we'll bring you in on the next show. We'll line you up to go against Nick Cutler on the next show if we need to. That's fine.
Really? You got to get him past Al Snow first.
He's the Prime Cut.
I can get myself past Al Snow.
Prime Cut. Okay. I like the name, Prime Cut.
The Prime Cut.
That's a pretty name, and listening to him sounds like he got a pretty mouth. Pat Patterson gonna love his little gay ass.
Are you coming out of the closet on air, Mo?
No, I said Pat
that about
Patterson
you.
will love your gay ass.
That's the second or third time he's talked about gay on the air. I think he's got something.
Mimi, get your brother. Get him.
See, that's why we shouldn't have smart marks on our radio program, man. I told you, Oscar, not to have these idiots come on our program. The ratings drop. The ratings drop just that quick. Wow.
No, your ratings are going to go through the roof.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I guarantee it. And then you can send me a check for the ratings.
You got to talk to Felix about that. He controls that department.
You guys, I brought you guys the Prime Cut, who's the premier talent in Northwest Indiana and the Midwest. Of course your ratings are going to go up.
I'm sorry. I meant to inform you that I like prime rib, not prime cut. We don't like.
You won't like prime. You won't like prime anything after he's done with you.
Really? Okay. Oh God, I love it. Go and get your cheap plugs in.
All right, guys.
Pro Wrestling come to Valparaiso, Indiana, November the 22nd. Come out and see the Prime Cut against Al Snow. It should be a barn burner.
We gotta end this fun right now because our featured guest Shawn Stasiak is holding. Thanks, Jeremy. Thanks, Nick. See y'all November 22nd.
Take care,
Thanks
guys.
for having us on, guys. We appreciate it.
All right.
Here he is, former WWE talent, WCW, the son of legendary Stan the Man Stasiak, chiropractor to the stars, Shawn Stasiak. What's going on, man?
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on. Can you hear me okay, though? It's my first question.
Yeah, I can hear you great, yeah.
Any feedback going on, guys?
No, not really. You sound fantastic, brother.
Awesome. I just hooked you up on my car speakers here. I'm driving from my clinic back to go for a second workout, man. So I've got my coffee going, and I got you guys on, and I'm glad I was able to make this call.
All right. Okay, my first question, we're going to jump right into it. How do you go from wrestler to chiropractor?
Well, think about that. I make my body up all through amateur wrestling, all through, high school, college, Division I wrestling program at Boise State, wrestled the Pac-10s and NCAAs, and then, of course, got into the professional stuff and, the fake stuff, not. Probably the most real thing I've ever done on my body. Fans will ask me all the time, is that real? And I say, well, take a look at my x-rays, some of the patients, that were fans. And I showed them what kind of damage I've done to my spine. And I had a relatively short career, only 4 years, But it's the farthest thing from fake, as you know. And it's probably the most damage I've ever done to my body. out of any combatant sports I've ever competed in. And, I lived in a chiropractic office. When I traveled the road in the ring, 4 or 5 nights a week, the first thing I'd do when I got back home was pick up my luggage, go grab breakfast, and then I'd head to the chiropractic office. So I was intrigued by it because it allowed me to perform at the levels that I did through high school, college, and then, of course, professional wrestling. And it just became a lifestyle because I learned more about it, asked a lot of questions, of course, went to school, and realized that everybody that has a spine should see a good chiropractor because it's all about wellness and living your life in a fitness and health way, the most efficient way possible.
Now that is very intriguing because we are embarking on a big gigantic wrestler health program ourselves. I'll tell you more about that a little bit later because you'll probably be good and instrumental on this effort. So what was it like growing up Stasiak? Your father standing there, Stasiak, a true legend. Did that inspire you to get into the business? I mean, I guess it had to, but from your mouth to our ears.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, how could it not? The most fun memories that I have as a young man growing up around my dad was in the Pacific Northwest in Portland, Oregon, when there was territories, as I'm sure you're familiar with. Don Owen was a huge promoter out in Portland, in the Portland area, and of course, just like Dallas, Texas, which I'm driving through downtown Dallas right now, beautiful city, and I pass right by the Sportatorium every time I pass, on Tuesdays and Thursdays when I work at this particular clinic in Dallas. I always pay homage and feel the spirit of the Von Erichs, and I just have that all about legacy and tradition as I've gotten older, and I think that's what happens to us as we get older. We become more humbled and grateful for the memories and just have more of a sense of respect, and so I'm getting onto a little bit of a tangent here, but I just get distracted when I drive by downtown Dallas. So, but yeah, territory days, Portland, Oregon, grew up around the business as a youngster, living in the locker rooms, running into the likes of Andre the Giant, Jesse Ventura, Roddy Piper, Playboy Buddy Rose, Ric Flair, of course, had come through, Harley Race, just to name a few, some of the greats that became greats. Of course, they came to the Portland area. Anybody who became a real big success or talent as a legend that we know of seemed to come through the Portland area. So that was my fondest memories. My dad was a big name there. He was a baby face, so he was well loved. And wherever we went, restaurants, grocery store, you can imagine autographs, pictures, and just a lot of connecting with the fans. So huge influence on me.
Now, most of you youngsters were not trained by your parents. I came to know that doing interviews recently, which was a shock to me. How about you? Who first? Did your father did your initial training, or were you trained elsewhere?
You're kind of coming a little bit muffled. Before you answer that question, I just got to understand. Am I calling you Greg or Mo or who? I don't think we've ever met in person.
Nah, we haven't. You can call me Oscar.
Okay. Call you who?
Oscar.
Oscar. Okay, yeah. And I've been corresponding through Facebook with you, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. You're probably going, man, this guy's probably had one too many bumps in his life. He can't remember who I am.
Okay. Yeah. This is men on a mission you're talking to.
Okay. Gotcha. No, I know. We'll have to talk off the air too. Maybe I want to refresh my mind on something. But you're a manager for Mo and Mabel, correct?
Yeah, Mo is on the phone right now. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Oh, hey, Mo. How you doing, man?
I'm all right, sir. How are you?
Well, I'm doing great.
Good.
And I remember vaguely watching you, and it was Big Vis, of course, that played a role. Yeah. And I wanted to make a comment about him, and I know we're getting a little off the question that you asked me about.
That's okay.
But I just want to say, right out of the gate, there's only a few people in the wrestling business, and I could probably count on one hand, maybe two, that I would say were people that, when they come to mind, as far as thinking of that person and thinking, were they pleasant? Were they welcoming? Did you feel a great energy, a spirit about that person? As you know, that business is very cutthroat and very it's a rough business for a plethora of different reasons. But Big Vis was somebody that I can honestly say was a man that loved being around him. Such a great eye, gentle giant, great spirit. I don't think I got a chance to work with him much in the ring, but just saw him, a couple of years, or actually last year at an event, an autograph signing in New Jersey, and you hear about anybody that passes, you feel bad, you pay homage to their family, you send prayers. Right. There's certain people that hit it home, and he hit home for me. So I'm sorry about your loss, but he was a great man.
Appreciate that. Actually, that's where we first met. We met in Jersey last year for the first time because I was actually with this signing autographs at the Legends of the Ring in Monroe, New Jersey. That's where I first saw you in person.
That's right. That's where I saw Big Vis last, too. So
right.
Yep, I remember now. So thanks for jogging my memory. But I think your question was about who trained me.
Right. Yeah.
It's funny. You think that my dad being who he was and everything would be supportive of it, but he had a reluctancy to it. Really, because I think it was he knew that business, knew the hardships of it, and I think as I got older and had a successful amateur wrestling career, and he saw me developing as a man. His little boy turned into a man now, and I think it was just that protection factor. But when he saw the athleticism and realized that it's something I probably could do, he just wanted me to graduate, get a degree, and have something to fall back on, as he did not. I knew the hardships of the business, so he always wanted me to fall back on something because I wanted to go for it. Didn't work out. I'd have something to fall back on. But he did actually see me. I had 10 professional matches in Portland the summer before he passed away. He never actually got to see me work in the WWE or WCW, but he was very, at this point in his life, he was very, very sick too, so he's pretty much on his last leg, so to speak. But I actually had some just very, very vague training in Portland, but I really was trained in Stamford, Connecticut when the WWE called me up, and what had happened was I play a comic book character come to life. It's an anti-bullying campaign. You've probably seen some of the pictures on Facebook with the face painting character, and it's something I used to do for Halloween in Boise, Idaho, where I went to school, went to Boise State, and I wrestled in a scholarship there, and in the off season, not the off season, but in October, it was actually during wrestling season, I came up with this character, and I was always fascinated with guys like the Warrior, Sting, the Road Warriors, the face paint, the guys that were very theatrical and larger than life, the comic book character come to life, so to speak. And so it just had such a profound impact on me and inspired me. And so, I love the, Kiss, Gene Simmons. Even as a little boy, I was into that, just the makeup stuff. It was just something I was always fascinated with. So I kind of created my own character, and every Halloween I became friends with the local sportscaster at Idaho's news station, Channel 7, and because I was the heavyweight, wrestler for Boise State, they created, we had a good relationship. They knew who I was, so they gave me the airtime to do a safe trick-or-treating announcement or PSA to the community every Halloween. So I'd come up and do this character, but there was no formal training professionally in Boise. It was kind of a remote area at the time. And so I sent that in right after my father passed. I was actually at my dad's funeral when Doink the Clown, Matt Bourne, God rest his soul, he just passed as well recently too, last year. But he came up to me and said, Shawn, I know it's a hard time, but this might be, it's all about timing, so you might want to send your video to WWE. I did. Within a week, I got a phone call from Bruce Pritchard. They called me up, did a tryout camp with Yokozuna was there, Tom Pritchard, and then 3 months later, Cornette and Jim Ross helped orchestrate to get me out there to start training full-time in Stamford, January of '98, and that was Dory Funk Jr. had those Funky Dojo camps, Tom Pritchard. They had a whole host of guys that come in, and I hadn't had much training at all. Got to a late start. I was almost 28 when I started, professional wrestling training. So guys like Edge, Christian, Test, Mark Henry, Kurgan, John Tensa. I mean, the Giant Silva. All these guys have come in, and so I was formally trained through WWE's developmental system. They sent me down to Memphis, worked in Englewood Lawler for about 9 months, and then they called me up to WrestleMania to put that meat gimmick on me, and that's when I started my full-time career with WWE.
Okay. Yeah, there are two things you mentioned that really hit home. Number one, I think it's an inspiration to a lot of people, former talent and talent, that even though you had a successful wrestling career, that you went and did something to fall back on, going to school, learning to be a chiropractor, because a lot of guys, after the lights go out, a lot of us don't know which way we're going. So that's a true inspiration. The other thing, too, is Mo has created a program called Bully Bash and Bully Mania, where we are actually going to the schools and the Boys and Girls Clubs and everything like that and talking to kids about anti-bullying. So the fact that you're really deep into those things, I want to thank you. It's really impressive, and I hope soon we can collaborate on some of these efforts.
I really appreciate your sentiment. That means a lot. The bullying thing is something that's definitely near and dear to my heart. Of course, I was a victim of it, and I think a lot of us were. So it's something that I resonate with these kids, and I've been, I understand. I had heard to the grapevine that you're doing some kind of program, which I think is great too. So congratulations on your end. I'd definitely like to talk to you more about that. I have a certain vision with the character and how I'm attaching him to this wave of anti-bullying, but I also have a theatrical vision with it where I'm writing a script for a film, and I'm doing all. It's funny. I'm doing a whole sort of host of things, but I will tell you one thing. It's interesting you mentioned about going back to school, become a chiropractor. There was always two aspiring careers that I always wanted to do in life. Number one is become a professional wrestler, take after my dad, Stan the Man. So I did that. But I'll be honest with you guys, let's just face it. I mean, there's no, and this is part of, I guess, spiritual awareness and growing and on your your self-learning journey, which I've been on. And that is, I've always kind of looked at the compass not. And I think a lot of us will always say that, but I know for a fact, for me, I can honestly say that. Talk can be cheap and words are words, but at the end of the day, I know that I never even scratched the surface of my professional wrestling career. Most people know that. Yes, it's political, and I used to point fingers, and I was angry for the longest time. But I realized that I created my own destiny there too, and I made some silly mistakes and decisions when I was, going through there as I was growing up, and I've always been a late mature in everything I've done, and even to this very day, there's things that I'm embarrassed to admit that I don't. I'm learning now, for the first time that people did 20 years ago, But I might be strong and be intelligent in certain areas that people are like, wow, you're a doctor. That's crazy. But yet, I still don't know how to put on a freaking tie. Okay, so. I mean, you Google it and have it done in 5 minutes, right? But I mean, my point is that we have our strengths and weaknesses in life, and so I'm learning how to just accept who you are for where you're at. You're exactly where you're supposed to be in life. But I've always had, I don't want to use the word as haunted, but I've allowed myself to be haunted over the years about the wrestling career because I never felt that I had that real opportunity to explode. To give me the ball, let me run with it, and show you what I can do. But then I look back and reflect, and I realized, I wasn't ready then. And what's interesting, here I am at 44 years old, and I may not recover as quick through workouts, whatever. I get in the ring from time to time and see if I still have it. The guys always tell them, don't bullshit me. If something looks bad, let me know it looks bad. But they say, Shawn, you don't look like you missed a beat. And I'm in the best shape of my life right now at 44. And I feel like with what I know with the work, like in life, what I've gone through, the trials, the tribulations, the challenges, the reflection of where I went wrong, what I could have done better. I'm very, very interested. I'm a different man today, a different person, and I feel that the Shawn Stasiak today is a refined man, not just as a wrestler, as a talent, right, a potential talent, but also as a man in life. And I learned, just like in, they say the term, art imitates life. Well, I realized that, wrestling is an art, and I'm very interested. I feel that I can bring something to this very day. I'm not a hanging-oner. I've moved all of my life. I don't need wrestling. However, if there was an opportunity that presented itself that had merit, substance, and purpose, and I know what that is. I have a video, by the way, guys, that I've been working on the last couple of months that's going to be launched out to the WWE Universe, and you're going to be able to see it soon. That's going to be a depiction of who I am today. And it's going to showcase the chiropractic, the character phobia, for the anti-bullying, but also about a potential return to the WWE. And here's the punchline. There's never been a father-son duo in the history of the WWE to become WWE champion. It's never been done to this very day. And whether people give a shit about that or not, it's a real story. And art imitates life. And if you want real and you want to get a resonation to the screen, you want to be like, imagine a guy that comes back in his interviews, his promos, the way his ring work is, his energy, what he's there for, and takes a piece of reality and channels it into a real character. It's very, very that he believes in who that is. Then people can get behind that and believe in that. It's a real story. And the storyline is that perhaps this guy promised his father before he passed away that he would bring the WWE Championship back to his family name and link the history books with his dad, right? And it's a promise he made. But he moved on in his life. He became a doctor out of all things. He's got a healing art in his hands. He's helped his community that he lived in, but he still has a hole in his heart because he's the promise that he never fulfilled. Well, America loves a comeback story. They're running out of stories right now. I'll be honest with you, man. There's some great, phenomenal talent, but the storylines are stale. It's boring. I hate to say it, but it's not just me. I watch it. I fast forward the program because I'm just trying to find things that interest me, and I go through all the commercials, and it's very hard for me to sit there and it captures my attention. And I think what they've missed is just a reality element. We all know it's choreographed. We all know that it's a work. We all know that it's theatrics and it's sports entertainment. But what's wrong with taking a piece of reality and channeling that into real elements of a character and a comeback story? Anyway, guys, I'm pitching this out to the world. I'm doing this for my dad in my name and our name, the Stasiak name, and I'm doing it more for that. If something comes out of it, great. But I'd be interested to get you guys' your insight on it when you see it. If it moved you, if it gave you goosebumps, did it make you tear up, did it inspire you? Because at the end of the day, that's what life's about, is for me anyway, and that is I don't care if I'm putting the face paint on, I go back to wrestling to make this potential return, to make history with my dad, or just being Dr. Shawn in the chiropractic office. I know that my purpose here was to inspire as many people in my life, to help them stand in their greatness, and that's what life's about. So you just got an earful, man. I can talk to them, especially when I have a coffee going.
I'm inspired just listening to you.
Well, it's funny because, we just lost another. I mentioned the Warrior, right? Ultimate Warrior.
Yes.
And he just passed, and God rest his soul. But he was a huge impact on me. Obviously, he was almost a chiropractor. The phobia faced the character kind of. There were some reminiscences of that, of course. Him and Sting. Where in fact, Steve's become a friend of mine. I love Steve. He's a great guy. Just such a real person, And, I guess it's funny because I kind of followed Warrior's YouTube channel a little bit. He's a pretty intense guy he was, really intense. But I got, a lot of people didn't understand him. A lot of people, he had a lot of heat because people didn't get him. They didn't understand it. But when I understood him, I resonated with him because I see a lot of myself in him. And all the guy was I think what it boils down to is probably in his youth, he was told he would never amount to anything, he's no good, this and that. And when you build that up over the years in your system, you can do one of two things. You can take that out on other people, like a bully, right? That's why bullies are just people that are in pain. They're just as much of a victim as the victims that they're picking on, right? Or you can take that and channel into a positive thing and make something of your life. And that's what he did. And so he was a very intense guy, and the way he spoke, and I would look at him and listen to his promos, and I just think, God, man, that's me talking, And it's just funny how you can relate to certain people. And I just never got a chance to meet him, I brought that up because he inspired me, and I realized that that's what life's about. Is whatever successes you have, whatever goals and visions that you have in life, there's nothing wrong. Go for them, right? But it's not about me or what I can accomplish. I realize I've gotten into my 40s now, that whatever I do from here on out, with any successes that I have, I didn't do it alone, and I couldn't do it alone. I needed the love and support of others. And even though I don't have any immediate family, mom and dad are both passed away, I'm the only child. I still will say that it's the friends and the people that believed you through the thick and thin that helped you get you there, and it's about inspiring others to share your successes with them. Let them be part of it, because succeeding at something and fulfilling a dream alone is no dream. It's a waste. And so that's
right.
what it's all about. So anyway, that's I don't know why you started talking about that. Kind of went on a tangent there. You need to cut me off when I do that.
That's okay. That's all right. That's all right. So before we let you go, I'd like to ask, by the way, this is Mo. I'd like to ask you, what was your experience? What was the difference between your experience with WWE and your experience with WCW?
Well, comparing the two, everybody's experience is going to be a little bit different.
Yeah.
Everybody's experience in life with anything is different. But for me, I always wanted to work for WWE and no other company ever. I just grew up in the Toronto area, and so it was a Northeastern state, so that's what I was exposed to. And it broke my heart when they released me, let me go the first time around. I didn't want to leave, but WCW turned out to be probably the best thing that could have happened to me. I ended up getting more TV time. They put the world tag team, scraps on me and my partner Chuck Palumbo at the time.
Right.
I made more money. I traveled around the world, got to see some nice places, and I was able to, hone my craft even better because I was relatively new in the business. I'd been in the business for maybe a year and a half before I went over there, and so even though it was a cluster, there was too many chiefs and not enough Indians, so to speak.
Right.
I had to say, man, I'm proud to have that experience because I was part of the very, very last bit of WCW that will go down in history. I was part of history when Vince purchased the company, and that was a big, big night, And I was on that card. I worked Bam Bam Bigelow, God rest his soul too, and he was great to work with. So I have great memories of him. But man, I can't complain. But WWE, at the end of the day, it's just like people ask me all the time, how come you haven't gone to TNA, or are you thinking about going to Global Force Wrestling? I've got, probably 2 to 4, maybe 5 good, solid years left in this body, right? And if I'm going to go in and sacrifice my body and put 110% everything into a character, and I'm not there to play tiddlywinks and waste my time or waste the company's time. I already did enough of those stupid, cheesy gimmicks, and it had enough of that. They need some real stories. They need to bring back some folks that can, The problem with my area is that, unfortunately, either God rest their soul, they've passed on, they're beat up, they're retired, or they're not doing so well.
Right.
And I don't want to make this about me and like, look at me, everybody. No, it's just the fact is, though, I've stayed in great shape. I'm in better shape than I was 10 years ago, and I've got a mind on me now that I never knew existed. And I've got this great story, and I think when you guys see the video, I think you're going to see what if I'm a betting man in Vegas, I think you're going to like the video, man. And I think you're going to see some authenticity in that thing. You're going to see some raw, vintage footage that you can't buy anywhere. It's home video of my dad and I with the belt. It's unbelievable. I couldn't believe it when I got it. I was like, where on earth? This stuff was put away for 33 years in a storage. I found it.
Wow.
Okay? So I feel that was God sent. I really believe this. I truly believe. I'm not a holy roller, but I'm a very spiritual man, a very deep spiritual person. And I'll tell you, I feel that this whole thing is a divine purpose and appointment. And the only way that Shawn Stasiak ever goes back to the WWE will be through God, man. It'll be through a divine force that's going to be good for business, good for everybody involved, but most importantly, good for the message it's going to send to inspire as many people as possible. And WWE, though, I don't care if they're having financial issues, from what I hear, or the ratings have dropped a bit, or revenue issues with the network, or whatever. At the end of the day, it's a worldwide commodity. Everyone knows the WWE. Not everyone knows what TNA is, or Global Force Wrestling, or even WCW for that matter. Everyone knows the WWE. So that is a platform that if I'm going to take any more bumps or do anything to this body, it's going to be for that company. That's the way that I see it for right now.
Makes sense. Makes all the sense in the world.
And also, too, I do want to say this, that Vince McMahon, love him or hate him, you know, I don't hate anybody. You know, I'm impartial with Vince. We never had the greatest. I never had a real relationship with him. I don't know that man real well. I don't know. We never had a real relationship. You know, it was always kind of trickled down the line. You know, as far as agents or whatever. I think that looking back now, if I maybe made a bigger impact or was considered a bigger player, if they would have given me the ball or had their faith in me, they would have, and we would have had a. And I'll tell you what, if I ever go back, if there is an opportunity that presents itself after I showcase this video and they see the picture, if the light goes on in their heads, I don't know if it will or not. I don't know exactly what, you know, it's a young man's game. I don't know if they're looking at me as, you know, 44, he's too old, but I'm not, you know, I can still go, and I don't think I'll look 44, and I think that what I bring to the table is something that's very unique and dynamic that no one else can right now, which makes it very special. And I say that in all humbleness, it's more of a way to share this with the fans, share it with the other guys in the business like you, Mo, for instance. I want to represent guys like yourself who paved the way, that busted their ass, that took bumps before me. It's all about respect. It's all about tradition. It's all about legacy. And it's all about making history, man. And that's what I'm about. So, but with the WWE, got to say, man, it seems like they've got their, for the most part, they make their mistakes, but they're more in command. They kind of know what they're going after, what they're looking for. With WCW, it was all over the map when I was there. And WWE has always been, whether it's Vince or Triple H now taking over, you know, Paul knows the business. Agree with him or disagree. There's a lot of stuff on that show that I kind of scratch my head and say, what are they doing? But, you know, I think though, overall, though, Paul's got a mind for the business. He's all about tradition and he respects the business, and so I have my faith in him, you know, and I see that you know, he's going in a certain direction. He's done a lot so far. I think he's done a decent, you know, pretty damn good job for taking on that role. That's a heavy role, man. People don't realize what that ensues, you know. All right, got a cold there.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got like 3 minutes. We got like 3 minutes left. Anything you want to leave us with, Shawn, before we let you go?
Well, I just want to thank you guys for having me on. I hope I was able to answer your questions. I get rolling with having a coffee here a little bit, but I hope that you enjoyed having me on. And you know, I say watch out for this video. Any listeners or archives of this particular interview, you can go to www.phobiatv.com. It's FOBIATV.com, and also ShawnStasiak.com. Check those are my websites, and then of course look out for the video, and I could use your love and support, man. If you like the video, definitely pass it around, share it. I'd like it to go viral. But again, if I do anything that has merit and has an opportunity for that, definitely you guys are all part of it, man. I'm doing this I'm representing everyone on this.
All right, yo, man, I want to, it's an honor to have you on. Your father was a fantastic legend. You got a legacy going on in your own right. Thank you for joining us on. We're going to have you back on. Also, want to talk to you on a personal level off the air about some other stuff we're doing that we probably could help each other out. So you just stay up, you know, keep on doing what you're doing, and we're going to get back at you soon, all right?
Absolutely, brother. I appreciate you having me on, and yeah, likewise. And maybe next time I can call a little bit earlier. I felt that maybe it was kind of rushed here because I saw 37 patients in about 3 hours, so it was really a busy night.
Okay. God bless you, bro.
All right, God bless you guys, man. Take it easy. We'll be in touch soon.
All right. Okay. Shawn Stasiak Stippich, WWE legendary family, and a great talent. Before we go, you fans out there in North Carolina, huge announcement. We are going to be at WrestleCade in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, at the Winston-Salem Convention Center. Mo and Oscar signing autographs, courtesy of Fan for Life Wrestling. Our fans down south in North Carolina, catch us there. Not Your Mama's Radio Show with Dreamy Me, Phil Salmedo, Mo and Oscar. Good night.